I spent 100 days in Ark Survival Primal Fear. It is a mod that adds a lot more dinosaurs, adds different tiers of dinosaurs which do hundreds of thousands of damage and have millions of health. To put it in perspective, even a simple dodo will kill you in one shot. And to make things worse, I upped the dino level and the dino damage, just to make it that much harder on myself. We put to the test my 6,000 hours in this game to see if I could survive and beat all the bosses at the end of this 100 days. To make things worse, I'm playing on Crystal Islands, which is one of the harder maps, which I've never played before, so let's get started. A lot of my first day was spent trying to get some tools going and dying to even the smallest of dinos. As a fresh spawn, you don't have a lot, and the dinos do a lot of damage. Now, I am running some quality of life mods and upping the gather rate and the tame rate just to make it easier on myself and easier on you guys, because I don't think you want to see the whole Ark vanilla experience where it takes 10 hours to tame a frickin' dodo. Even a simple dino as a moss chops is going to prove hard for me to kill, because I've also turned down my own damage. And I really needed to kill this guy, just for the hide. You can see how many hits it took to actually kill him and put him out of his misery so I could get some hide and make some clothes. Look at his health go down almost nothing. It's like trying to kill a bear with a fly swatter. It's not doing much. Actually, it's not doing anything at all. After spending the better part of 10 minutes trying to beat it to death, I finally managed to kill it and get a little bit of hide. Instead of making clothes, I made a spyglass and some parachutes to try to find a better spot for a base where I could find some metal, some crystal, some stone, wood, and all the necessary resources, or most of them, that I would need to succeed on this quest to finish in 100 days. Parachuting in the valley trying to find my new home, and running around, I kind of realized there might have been something chasing me. This was but one death that I would have to this nuisance that would hunt me down in the moments to come. It would torment me again and again and again. Giving up on my search to get my items back, I sought to find a new home, and ended about as poorly as the previous time.
The missile knows where it is at all times. It knows this because it knows where it isn't. By subtracting where it is from where it isn't, or where it isn't from where it is, whichever is greater, it obtains a difference or deviation. The guidance subsystem uses deviations to generate corrective.
After suffering multiple deaths and the sun began to set on day one, we found a small place to build a home. This was near Red Obelisk. Working through the night, I farmed resources and set up my little shelter. It was not much, but it was enough to shield me from anything else. And a small island in the river discouraged dinosaurs from swimming there and killing me. With a couple sleeping bags down, and a gate to block the path of least resistance, I began to plan out the rest of my base, and gather the necessary resources and clear the area. Not a moment too soon after settling in and getting my first set of armor, the surrounding dinos began to do what they do best, and slap me like I was Chris Rock and they were Will Smith at the Academy Awards. Now that I had a base down, I looked to find a flyer, as this would be important for me to grab metal and other resources that did not spawn in my area. Starting with this pterodon, which I set out to find food for. Armed with a spear and some armor, I thought I could kill this alpha glowtail. No, I was mistaken. At the end of the day, I needed a flyer, so I set out to tame another one. This one was a perfect tame, 170. Remember in the beginning how I said I turned up dino damage to double? Because I am a masochist and like pain? Even 3 compies, which most people stomp out very easy, are a difficulty in this. And they will kill you, just like they did for me. I did come back and get my revenge on them, and harvest them for their meat to feed to my newly knocked out pterodon. In the morning I found myself with newfound energy to approach the day and piss off any dinosaur that I may happen to walk by. Not at my own doing, just because. The creature I managed to piss off this time was an elder fjordhawk. This would be the death of me multiple times and my poor pterodon, yet again. My initial thought was to try to bola it. In my infinite wisdom I managed to bola my pterodon, and kill myself in the process and give a bunch of free damage to the fjordhawk on my pterodon. After about 10 minutes of trying to kill the thing or bola it, it ultimately ended in me dying multiple times and my pterodon finally dying alongside me as well. I was beginning to lose hope that I'd ever have a tame that would survive more than a day in game. And some of you might be asking, why don't I just tame an alpha or a toxic or whatever? The problem with the primal mod is I need eggs of the lower tier dinosaur, so normal tier dinosaur, to make what is called toxic kibble. Then I tame toxic dinos, and I use their eggs to make alpha kibble, and so forth and so on. The problem is, I need dinos to last longer than a day, so I figured, why not get a couple dodos, one to start, and get eggs off them. I figure at least with a dodo, they have no chance of attacking other things when set to passive, and most creatures would overlook them. Remember the fjordhawk that killed me and my pterodon? I thought he left the area. I was gravely mistaken, as I would spend the next part of day 2 trying to recover my items in a constant death loop. Repeatedly trying to recover my items, I ran out of beds. So eventually, I started spawning randomly in the area, which led to even more deaths on the way trying to get back to my body, and eventually my base. At this point, I had spent about 30-40 minutes and a full night cycle and almost half a day cycle trying to get back to my body and get my original gear back. I was screaming profanities and slamming the desk. After taking a break to preserve the little shred of sanity I had left, I went out to tame a predator, something that would do a lot more damage to other dinos. I opted for this level 108 raptor. After spending the allotted 10 minutes that I was allowed to spend with my raptor, and getting attached and leveling him up, Ark sought to do what it does best, which was bend me over and go without lube. As apparently I did not get the memo, but every other creature in this game did. My ass cheeks were always on the menu, and the line was wrapped around the block. No, my stroke of bad luck did not end there. It was about the 4th day, and I decided to pick up an egg I found, in hopes that I could make some kibble to tame a really good dinosaur. What proceeded to happen was another death spiral at the hand of an angry fabled glowtail mother, where I would spend the remainder of the 4th day trying to recover my lost items, over and over and over again.
Wait! Wait!
On my way to tame a pterodon, I noticed a crystal wyvern, and after looking it up on the guide, how to tame one, I quickly went after that. Noticing that it would often move around and fly around in between meals, I had the bright idea of jumping on its back in order to tame it and to stay with the wyvern. The wyvern proceeded to fly around for about 5 minutes, where I struggled to stay on, dodging trees and elevation changes as it went up and down, almost shaking me off a couple times. But finally, it was mine. It was tamed, and I could use it. This would be a huge step, allowing me to grab even more materials than I would with a pterodon or any other smaller, lighter flyers. As day 5 came to an end, I proceeded to get it back to my base and give it a couple levels. Making sure to stop by the metal mountain and gather as much metal as I could carry, as this would allow me to make metal tools, a smithy, and all sorts of other important stuff. I did manage to get the pterodon I tamed earlier too, when I set off in search of a pterodon and found this thing instead. This 100-day series is going to be broken up in multiple parts, allowing me to show you more content while also keeping the videos relatively short, about 15 minutes long. If you enjoyed this video, stay tuned for the next parts and make sure to give a like, comment, and subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated in growing my channel.